In Winnipeg, Manitoba, the Hudson Bay Company is reconciling its colonial past with the Southern Chiefs organization of Manitoba. There's an old Hudson Bay Company building in Winnipeg that's been empty for the last couple of years. It costs a lot of money to repair it and upkeep it because it's a heritage building. It was built in the 1920s. The Southern Chiefs organization represents 34 First Nations groups in Manitoba. Representatives of that organization met with the CEO of the Hudson Bay Company in New York, and they worked out this deal to give back the building. Now, in these articles, it mentions that there's various levels of government pitching in money, and it mentions that this is in the spirit of reconciliation. And a lot of these articles start to use not only the same words, but actually the entire articles are virtually the same on different websites. Going through the articles, what I noticed is there's no real talk about how the Hudson Bay Company became wealthy and how that relates to Canadian history. In short, the Hudson Bay Company was created by British royal family in order to create a fur trade network in North America. So money was given from a royal family to venture capitalists back in 1670. So these forts by the Hudson Bay Company were backed by the British Empire. That's why they ended up fighting against the French over beaver pelts. The Northwest Company and the Hudson Bay Company were literally at war because it was the French and the British at war with each other in North America over beaver pelts. So that occurred from the 1670s through the 1800s. Another thing that happened is the Hudson Bay Company was able to sell the land it considered itself to be the occupiers of to Canada. So Canada, again a British colonial offshoot, bought the land that the Hudson Bay Company utilized with their fort structure, their fort network. That land was sold from Hudson Bay Company, who never owned it, to Canada. Both of them were British businesses, basically. The Canadian province, which became Canada, and the Hudson Bay Company, which was just a royal family-backed enterprise. This land was sold by the HBC to Canada, although the people that lived on the land, the indigenous inhabitants, had no say in it. They were not involved in the land transfer agreement, nor did they receive any of the financial benefits from it. But they were participants in the fur trade for years. That's not mentioned in these articles. So when they mention reconciliation and the fact that this building is being given to the Southern Chiefs, it should be noted that all the wealth of Canada and the Hudson Bay Company and the British Empire came from the land and the resources that the people, the original inhabitants, lived on. The work of our ancestors went into the building of these nations. But in return for that work, Native people were pushed onto reserves and into residential schools and into lower socioeconomic niches within the Western socioeconomic hierarchy. Now, in the spirit of reconciliation and in the spirit of getting land back, this building is being returned to the chiefs of that area.